Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program on politics, religion, any topical issue trending. We speak about it, particularly politics. We fear no subject matter. We express our views and opinion on any issue once we are comfortable with the subject matter. Our opinions is not cast in stone. If we have new information, we change in our opinion. We want to speak the truth. But when you're on radio and you're speaking and your mouth running faster than your brain, sometimes you say things that is not true. So we accept correction immediately. If you hear something that is not true, please correct us. If it's not today, next month, anytime, because we want to speak the truth. We want to encourage radio personalities and journalists to deal with the truth and speak the truth. We have a soft heart for politicians. We believe politicians perhaps is the greatest thinkers in all profession. So we don't really go after them much because they're under immense pressure. And you don't have to say anything about a politician that is on. They're making enough mistake you could speak about. So this is our situation. The number to call is 4420175. We on YouTube, 91.9 RealFM, and we on Facebook, both on the page of RealFM and Francis Bay. We encourage you to share our program, like and share, and encourage your children to listen to us. Yes, caller, welcome.
Morning, Pierre. I just called to remind you about the good morning. Remember that.
Yes, caller. Thank you. Today, Catholics are celebrating the feast of the conversion of St. Paul. St. Paul was Saul. He was one of the individuals that he was converted by Jesus Christ. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Pierre, I did not speak of mistake and willfully, right? Willfully misleading people. Pierre, sometimes you want to do something, right? And you put your best foot forward to do something, right? But then what you do is you made a mistake, and then you after you reach a halfway, you recognize a mistake, then say, boy, sorry, I made a mistake, right? So then, when you make a mistake, you should be big enough or man enough to say, yes, boy, I made a mistake. But there are some people, they see the mistake. You tell them your mistake, but they will still tell you, no, they didn't make a mistake. And then when you have people sitting down, groups of people sitting down together, of manufacturing lies to come and deceive people, this is not a mistake. This is willfully. Willfully. Because when you know certain things cannot happen, and you come in and tell people about it, well, you could do that, you could do that. That's not a mistake. That's willfully planned and orchestrated to mislead people, to mislead people. And Mr. Pay, I want to say to the Ghanaian people, sometimes we have to speak out. Right? I always say we don't hate. What we don't hate people, we hate the things that they're doing. And when a man does something wrong, he should be big enough to acknowledge that he did something wrong and try to change the ways of doing and way of dealing with people. Because if a man tells himself all what he's doing and he tells himself they know what he's doing wrong, Mr. Pierre, but they still continue to do it. So it is difficult to realize you, but they want to take advice from nobody. Life goes so. If you want advice and you want to advise people, you should also take advice. But the man that tells himself he know it all, I don't take advice, that man will. And when he fall, then I'm back against wall. That when he go to catch up himself. That's my this man.
And this your contribution plays nicely into Paul. Saul was a student of the great Pharisee Rabbi Gamaliel had persecuted Christians, but was suddenly converted on the road to Damascus when the Lord appeared to him. Paul's encounter with Jesus on the road to him, everybody could change. We must be tolerant. We must be patient. Yes, firmly advocate what is truth. So in the same way, caller, the present National Democratic Congress have an opportunity to be converted because politics is so divisive. They may not want to hear from the opposing forces. They may not want to hear NNP. They may say that NNP just talking. So that is why I call on moderate NDC. Because today in the NDC, you have two clear line of demarcation. One clear line of demarcation within the party. We have hardliners and we have moderates. The moderates are very quiet. They have been intimidated and driven into a corner by the hardliners. So the time has come for the moderates to discuss the issue among themselves, see the value of it, and engage the hardliners. Because right now the hardliners are in limbo. They're stuck like rainstorm. They're at the crossroad. They're indecisive. So now is a good opportunity for the moderates to engage them and inform them that they're on the wrong trajectory. Let them know you cannot rob from old people. Costco ticket. You can't do that. What the National Democratic Congress has done was to deprive the elderly, the most vulnerable people in our society. So the moderates must hold discussion with them. Hold discussion with them. Speak to them. And help them to change their trajectory. Because they must change. They're not going on the route. The National Democratic Congress must give back the elderly the $150. You must. We beg you. We kindly request you. We want to show you the light, but we're demanding you must give them back. So it is better to give them back now. And this is the 49th year of independence. Yes, Colin, welcome.
Yeah,
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I don't feel the way to return that money. I think there's a cash. There's a problem with cash flow.
Well, we're going to tell them how to, on my program, I'm going to tell them how to get the money. I ain't talking long, I'm going to tell them how to get it.
I was talking to one pensioners and they tell me they get half the money, so I realized there's a cash problem in Grenada.
They must give back the old people the money.
They come and meet, they come and meet all the surplus there. And you just play a 2020 edit and then after, so then, well, I don't understand, they say to the young people like to spend money. Well, I don't know, but you come and meet that, you just play a 2020 edit and today you think about, well, down the road, man. Yeah, but there's a problem. The problem is the person tell me they get half the money they end up getting. So that means, so if they start half of that, that half will come back to come in the next few years, maybe. Because I don't know if things will improve. So take him as a player.
Yeah, we will constantly point out to the NDC how to get the money. I've pointed out 3 ways already how to start. They have a tour going to America where 3 individuals are carried to go. We're not asking them to cancel the tour. Send 1. You don't have to send 3. Send 1. Secondly, the National Democratic Congress introduced a ministry, MIT. They call it Mobilization, Implementation, and Restorative Justice. This ministry is not necessary. but there is need for one or two people to help in implementation, because all governments have suffered with the rate of implementation because of bottlenecks in the ministry. So if you get 2 or 3 people that know about the ministry, have knowledge about the ministry, and they must be of such clout that they know what about, they could go and speak to people. The people in the ministry would engage them. If you send any lunatic, they just ignoring them. Get rid of this ministry. You don't need this ministry. Disband it. And keep about 3 people in implementation. You're going to get the money to do that. In addition to that, the prime minister must tell the public how much he's paying his press secretary and all the advisors that he has. Let the public know. And let us look at the amount of money that you're paying them. And I don't want to go deeper yet. Some of them, you don't need them. Get rid of them. You must give the old people the money. You must. You have no choice. You must give them the money. So, in the same way you could have gone when the budget was not yours. When the previous government had the budget, you went inside there and you were able to make the necessary legal adjustment so you can get ministry and you can get $2,000 extra and all sorts of issues. Do the same thing. But you must pay the old people. So we hope by the end of the month, these people would get the money. By the end of the month, these elderly people must get the money. Otherwise, we'll have to step up our protest and our objection against what you do. What the government did was to commit a cardinal sin. You robbed from the elderly. Maybe the Minister of Social Affairs, perhaps all these years you in town, but you wasn't involved in politics. Imagine, you have a number, even if you didn't like the previous government program, and you wanted to end the program. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, caller, welcome.
All right, you could. Wait, what you tell them number for right to call you off, yeah?
Call this number immediately when we finish, and then I could give you 4420175. But if you want off the air conversation, you have to call.
We'll call you after.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you see, the men ought to know that if the previous government had a program and you want to end it, nothing is wrong with that. You could end the program. But the program is to help the elderly in the home. So you end the program without notifying the elderly. So there was no time for the workers who took care of the elderly to inform them they're not coming back. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
For you.
Great for us to hear.
You hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay. You suggesting that I just simply calling us speeders, right?
Yeah, just punch, man. Don't worry about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm not either or neither. Just simply calling us speeder. So the thing about it, you is saying that to get rid of certain ministry,
the Ministry of Mischief,
yes,
the
right,
MIT,
right,
is not necessary.
But what I'm saying is the people working is no, hold on. The people working, they have the commitment like everybody else. If you get rid of them, and you will be depriving them from the red.
Yes, you just started that ministry, and that ministry is for political mischief. Get rid of it.
So?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
but what I'm saying, but is work the people working.
I'm suggesting ways in which
and they getting a salary just like
it's
everybody
better to
else.
go home than the old people don't get money.
Better they go home.
Yeah. Get rid of them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is you will be depriving them from a bread just like how you complaining.
No, caller, it's different. Caller,
how they deprive.
Caller.
Yeah,
It's different.
it's different.
Government have a responsibility. That is what government main responsibility, to look after the marginalized. Now, the National Democratic promised to raise the pay to $400 15 years ago. Another government come and raise it. And the National Democratic Congress drop it because they believe the government giving these old people handout. Caller, they didn't even announce it to the people that they're going to drop it. In addition to the workers they fired, these people in their home now without the help and assistance that they are accustomed with. And most of these people would have to go to a home now. So you see how it rebound back on government? Right.
Yeah, but I want you to understand what I'm saying.
Caller, we have a principle in the trade union. The last to come is the first to go. There is a principle in the trade union that the last to be employed is the first to go. So these people was employed 3-6 months ago. They are the first one to go, not the elderly.
Listen, but what I'm saying, that's how you complain about the send home workers. I mean, that was working with the previous government. That is the same thing that you imply. No.
Yes, because there's a principle in the labor.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, listen, if you send them this is the same deprive. You'll be depriving them from a daily bread. You know.
Caller.
Just as how you just as what you're complaining about.
Caller.
So what is the issue then?
Caller. There is a sacred principle in the labor movement. The last to come is the first to go. So if you have to get rid of anybody, get rid of the last set you're bringing.
And how do you expect them to survive?
Caller, the people we're speaking about are elderly people. They are not young people that could go on the job market.
No. I am not.
Caller, the people we're speaking about are the elderly. Now, the people you brought in a ministry that is not necessary, that is not good, that has no good intention. It is for political mischief. These people are within working age.
Listen. The thing about it is, I just seen the thing for what it is. No, the people working bit. If who is it, James, John, Jean, Joel, whoever, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, they're working like everybody else. Are they getting? I agree what you're saying. But when you send them home, right, they have the commitment. They have children to send to school. They have their commitment. So the same thing you are talking about how this government.
Caller, do you agree with the government taking out the $150 from the elderly people?
Well,
Caller, do you agree with that?
Listen, I'm not here, not there with these things.
Right. So you see,
listen.
You playing Jack on both sides. I ain't doing that.
No. Hold on. Let's make something clear here, right? It's not about Jack on both sides. Listen, the thing about it is, listen, Mr. Pierre, right? I don't really want to be too long. If somebody come from abroad, let me just make a point here, please. If somebody come from abroad, right, and they do something good for Grenada, and people benefit from Grenada, does it matter who they are or where they come from or what they believe in? Does it matter? Does it? No. Just a question. It's just a question I want to answer me.
No, if they're doing good, caller, if they're doing good things for Grenada, it doesn't matter where they come from, even though it's in Timbuktu.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what this is what.
Caller, do you?
For other things take place, then
All right, so I knew part ways on this thing because I believe the government robbed these people with violence.
Okay.
This is robbery with violence.
Okay.
And this must never be tolerated in a society when a government turn against the elderly. Who is going to let the elderly color? If the government of the day decide to deprive the elderly, they didn't even have the common courtesy to inform them. Who is going to protect them, color?
But would you listen? But would you agree? But Mr. Pierre, with no disregard, right? As I say, I just simply calling a speed. But
And you don't even want to fit. You ask me and I answer you. And I'm offering suggestions how the government could get the money.
No, but it's like you just want to hear what you want. You ask my question and I say, maybe if it is necessary, maybe it is necessary, maybe it is not.
Okay, then.
I don't know.
All right, thank you.
What do you want me to hear?
Okay, thank you.
What did you want me to
No, I don't want you to say anything.
Well, exactly. Anyway,
Okay.
good.
Yeah. You see, we have to face this issue head on. A government main responsibility is to seek the interests of those who are not as fit to seek the interests for themselves. So the government has to seek the interests of every businessman, somebody in the higher echelons of society, educated person, somebody that is very competitive on the job market, practically could handle itself. The government create the enabling environment. You must have a free system where the justice system is independent. So if we have done wrong, we could have recourse because the justice system is independent. We have a free press, and the government must not overburden the country with taxation. The businessmen, the people who are educated intellectuals, they could be competitive on the job market. Every country, and yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr.
Yes,
Pierre.
caller, welcome.
Just a bit of correction, I believe it is the seed that all people, they are underprivileged people, and they are, in some cases, children, parents are in school. They are recipients of the seed. It's not necessarily the older folks alone.
Yes, scholar, thank you. I know that, but my emphasis have been on the elderly. I'm looking at organizations that perhaps might speak about the children. We have a lot of organizations in this country that have shut them out. They perhaps could speak about the children. But in Grenada, I have noticed that we become very insensitive to the woes of the elderly in the manner in which we treat the elderly. I see elderly farmers stone in the land. They can't go in the land. I made mention of a gentleman in St. Patrick's that received chop wounds in his land. The last time I visited him, he told me the police and all give up on him. He has chop wounds in his face, in his hands, in his leg. And he said the police and all give up on him. And the man is 80s. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my sister, welcome.
You listen to the one before and the one now.
Yeah,
What
listen.
we saying, the thing is like, these people they want to defend their own self, but that's not it. Because sure, both of them must be getting the same money too.
No. I don't think they're getting any money. They're not getting any money. Both of the individuals are independent, hardworking people that always call the radio station. Yeah.
Thank God for that. If they're independent and people who not them get it, why they have to talking about it?
Well, I think what we need to do is to engage this discussion and have some people may not as be convinced as us. and have an amicable discussion with them, because they are the best one to engage other people, the moderates. The sister was drawing my attention. She find my emphasis on the elderly and not the children and the physically challenged. And because there are a lot of organizations seeking the interests of children, I put my emphasis on the elderly. Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, the thing is, pay go up the second month in after election. Raise a pay come to people's pay. So the little $400 what people have to buy the little medication with and the little grocery with, not groceries more so, the little light bill and the little water bill. What it is so good. And for the first previous government, what everybody was working, I couldn't remember when they go to parliament to raise the minister's pay, the union stop it. It didn't want that to go on. I don't listen news, you know. I listen that the agriculture man was talking about. Instead of putting the tax on the rum and the cigarette, why they don't put the tax on the port? They take out the port tax and they put it in a rum and cigarette. How much revenue could come out for that? You could get revenue for that, Mr. Pierre?
Well, you could get revenue, but you could also attract contraband.
Oh, well, I just can't understand how we dropping it. We not sorry for we little people that set the way for us. We're not sorry for that. We meet the people there and they open the road for us. So then look up to them. We have to look up to them. That is what we have to do and stop only just beating the tackle, taking out people a bread. This is no come people. The bread was already there. We take it out in a man's mouth. So we have to stop it. When I hear people, they don't educate me, you know.
Yeah, you see, we have to continue the conversation.
Yeah,
the conversation must not stop.
It don't stop.
And we must not afraid to answer.
We don't know we have to.
We're not afraid to answer. And I am making suggestions how the government could get the money.
That is it.
And the government establish the ministry. That ministry must be disbanded.
Of them people, they're 50, 150. That is what they have to do.
Yeah. The MIT, the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Restorative Justice, must be disbanded. It is not a good ministry. It's a ministry that would cause smashing up of the fabric of our society. It is a ministry that is counterproductive to the even production in the ministries. Because in that ministry, they decide to send out agents to go to NNP activities to see who attending meetings. What you're going to find happening in the ministries, you won't get production. The ministry will become unproductive. Even in the schools, speculation will run wild that children are victimized because of politics. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the gentleman that was talking to you, apparently he don't understand. He's trying to play double games too.
Sometimes he don't understand.
We seem to have a lot of double games playing around this time.
But we have to
you
prepare
ask him a question if it is necessary, and he tell you if you don't know if it's necessary. So you don't know if it's necessary for you to take out the poor people. You don't know if it's not necessary. He's telling you again that the people are going to be losing their jobs. How we know that these people are working before? These people they didn't just pick up people and give them the job, you know.
Some of them were in jobs. They removed them from some of them jobs.
So these people are not losing anything because they move from they create positions there. So I don't understand what he's trying to say. The fact is whether it was right to take out the money or not. And
I am saying it is not right to take out the money because they are admitting that they're going to do a research and they're going to do what and what, and if it warrant to put back, they will put it back. That alone tell you that it was warrant, right? They went to Parliament to before they give the ministers $2,000 each. Pay supposed to raise this year. When the pay raise, are they going to take out the $2,000? Would he ask if it was necessary? Let's be human now. Let's be human and don't play these double games. If you listen to what Miss Gloria Thomas said, that the ministers will get paid every. It's not a matter of getting paid. It's a matter that you was giving the poor people something. If there are people there that did not worry for it, they say they have people that there and the list. They say they have people away and whatnot. If they clean the list and they see that there are people that is not deserving of the money, I have no problem in you stopping it. I have no problem if there are people on the list that should come out. But to don't give the impression that the people don't need that money. That's not fair and nice.
And Color, particularly in light of the fact that the National Democratic Congress in 2008, 14, 15 years ago, promised to make this thing $400.
Yeah.
So they are the last party in the whole world to touch these people's money.
I mean, come on, this kind of game thing, don't move this thing around. If there is people that should not be on the list, if there are people that is in a well-off position and they have them on the list, and the government sees fit to want to take them out, I have no problem with that. If you say there are dead people that getting money, well, how do dead people collecting money? Somebody has to be collecting for the dead person. The dead person can't come and collect for them.
And if it's an LL list, every day somebody go dead and somebody will come on.
So I mean, why bringing all this kind of hypocrisy meant to things?
Yeah.
If it's wrong, it's wrong.
We got to demand that the government must give back the people their money. There's no way out.
I can tell you from the way they talk there and the way Miss Gloria, if she was the minister at the time, I mean, she don't swear any.
Color, the government must give back the people their money.
And that Miss Thomas, Miss Delma Thomas, who was the last minister there, if she said that they're working as one now, she should be giving us some advice.
Color, you remember when Eric Gary was fighting for $1 a day? They say he can get it. The British sent 2 battleships in Grenada, and they had to give him. So this thing is not about if. They must give back people their money. If we believe that, Dick Mitchell must give them back their money.
Uncle say if the shops are closed and you're hungry,
so go on hunt. And if yes,
right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's a challenge. The government, no, the pride in the government would not acknowledge that what they did was unacceptable. What they did was they committed a cardinal sin, that they went and deprived the elderly from money that they should not have. And the saddest thing, within 1 year of the National Democratic gallivanting that they meet a pregnant treasury, it seems that they squander the booty they found there. And now they decide to sacrifice the elderly in the country. When they give a tax break to those taxpayers who perhaps could pay the tax, they give a tax break. And I am making suggestions on ways they could get this money, because I believe in solution. Yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, welcome.
It's about time that we as citizens learn to discuss and accept each other just the way they are. Cause make a difference. We are same side. You cannot have a discussion and you cannot come up with a conclusion at the end of the day what is best for the family, what is best for the community, what is best for Grenada. At the end of the day, Grenada belongs to all of us and we have a contribution to make. And it's not always when you go there and help somebody, you would raise your hand or put up a camera and say you help somebody. You are doing what you think you have to do in the interest of Grenada. And we have been around this program for all of the years, maybe since its inception. I remember there are times when maybe I was the only caller, but
And I
we
always
would
welcome
get
your call.
2, 3 calls. I mean, and this is quite understood. It is about time we stop bullying each other, learn to live with each other, and discuss what is the topic of the day. And have a great afternoon to everyone.
And as always, you always welcome.
Thank
And
you.
it's people like me and you that know about red and green, yellow and green, and able to work with it. And this is why, in this situation, you want to appeal to more moderates and level headed individuals. And particularly the people who are moderates in the National Democratic Congress. I appeal to them to look at the case, examine the case, and counsel those Deacon Mitchell and the others, and say to them, you cannot deprive the elderly, particularly in light of the fact that in 2008, the NDC promised to make it $400. 14 to 15 years after, when another group make it $450, the NDC subtract 155. On that basis alone, it is enough arguments. Some people argue that the previous government put it for 1 year. All budget is for 1 year. There was nothing in the budget about $2,000 for transportation. There was nothing in the previous budget about Ministry of Mischief. And you implement it so you could take the necessary measure now to adjust it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
Pleasant
caller.
good evening. How are you today?
Great, man.
All right, good. I only want to point out a few little things here. Maybe a few little words that I might want to use. Principle one, respect one, courtesy. These are the few words that I think very good in one sense, already long ago, a few months if you want to say then, I say long. And, I admire and appreciate the lady. I still want to say, see, I use the word lady. I don't want to call names really and truly, but
The lady is good.
the parliamentary representative for what St. Andrews, whatever it is, a Thomas lady, a Thomas.
Yeah.
She won the election, right? And I compliment her, on her move, to join up with the other lady, and whatnot, etc. Now, if you follow this that I'm dealing with here, I said lady, lady, lady. Now, I would much appreciate if I can hear you personally, stop the echoing of, what is it? Deacon Mitchell. I find that don't sound right. I mean, he is the prime minister, no matter what, happens. We have to appreciate the prime minister, and he's in the office. And, myself and Dr. Keith Mitchell, and I appreciated him. I get the opportunity to embrace him, hug him up, whatnot, etc. And I never used to go about saying, Keith Mitchell. So I only trying to hope that, for the rest of the time coming, if we could change your dictum a little bit more and be a little bit more respectable, let the man have what is due to him. I even consider him as the deacon. So, that's how it is. Have a good evening.
Yes, Color. And Color, you hear me say on my program, Prime Minister. You'll hear me say Prime Minister Dick Mitchell. And then you'll hear me say Dick Mitchell. You'll hear me say Dr. Kit Mitchell. You'll hear me refer to Dr. Kit Mitchell sometime as Stone and Jonah. It depends in the context in which I'm speaking. Because sometimes in the context in which I'm speaking, saying Jonah or Stone is complimentary and not disrespectful. You'll always hear me that. And sometimes in the context in which you're speaking, just as when I refer to Eric Gary, you'll prefer to hear me say Uncle Gary or Uncle Tilly. And that is not in any disrespectful manner. So, but anyway, you are well taken. Thank you. And I always encourage people on my program to be respectful and to be tolerant. I say I don't make no rules. I don't like rules, except we encourage people to be respectful, to be tolerant to one another, and to try the truth as much as possible. Yes, Scholar, thank you. But the issue that we're discussing here, and we spend a lot of time on it today, and we'll continue to spend time on it once the callers come, or if you change the subject matter, is right. What we discussing is not going away. The government of Grenada, led by Prime Minister Dick Mitchell, has committed a cardinal sin. They have robbed the poor people of this country. When they remove the $150 from the elderly people, that is unacceptable. It is unconscionable. The manner in which it did, we have to describe it as robbery violence. They told the people, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. When people hurting and have so much need, and people coming on this station to talk about respect and give people a turn, they must get back to the topic of this disgrace, what is going on in Grenada, right? And stop coming, and they must come in and talk about the issues, what it is about respect. They have no respect for the elderly. That's why they take off money with a straight face and showing no pity and making all excuses. So people occupying your time talking about respect and all of that ain't cutting it. What we want is for them to put back the money, give back the old people the money. That's it.
Thank you, caller. Yes, caller, thank you. And still we could object and we could protest in a respectable manner. And I entertain and happy for the reminders. It comes sometimes when you're speaking and you're not speaking with a text, you could go off. So I don't mind the correction. The point we're making is that the National Democratic Congress announced, in fact, in the minister's own words, she said, we will continue with the process. You can't go and argue now that the government before budget for 1 year. That was the government before. If the government was budgeting again, the government might have budgeted more. Kit Mitchell might have budgeted more rather than 150. This man might have budgeted $200 more now because of the economic situation. Because Dr. Kit Mitchell always, and I say it, the politician post 1983, the only political leader post 1983 that have seek the interests of the elderly the most is Dr. Kit Mitchell. The only political leader that have seek the interests of the Imanis the most, Dr. Stone. The only political leader that have seek the interests of the marginalized in Grenada the most, Dr. Jonah. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon,
Yes, my sister, welcome.
I don't quite understand the removal of the 150. I mean, I would have liked a more explanation on that. They must have a reason, a purpose of reducing that 150 to replace it in some other thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody could come out clear the air what they take it out to do. I don't understand. They saying the seeds, someone saying the not that. I don't know what's really going on. Thank you.
Yes, scholar. I think the minister is saying that the government don't have money to pay the 150. So they said they was going to go through they take a decision to continue the payment. And she said that in December. But maybe a few days or a few weeks after, they realized that the amount of people that the people who they claim was dead and on the list and who did not deserve the money, when they remove them, it is not enough to continue paying them. In long and short, the NDC is saying we don't have money. They do not have money to continue paying the 150. So I am countering that with telling them how to get the money. One of the reasons and one of the ways, cut down on the trip to America. Instead of paying 3 parliamentary representatives to go, send 1. I'm saying get rid of the Ministry of Mischief. It is not necessary. It's counterproductive. It's going to help to fracture Grenada. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, you see what's going on today. Since these people and them old people start all kind of accidents all over the place this morning after they come and present and make excuses about what's going on with the 150 they cut off from them old people. That is my contribution this
Caller.
afternoon.
And caller, we have to continue to object to it. We have to continue to hold a discussion in every creek and corner in Grenada and to lobby the government, because that's what you do in a democracy, to lobby the government to put back the money they robbed from the elderly. And I am telling them what are the ways you could get back the money. Cut down on the independence celebration. The amount of money you put in the independence celebration, cut down on it. Eric Gary, the father of independence, he should cry, will be crying in the grave. Cut down on the independence celebration. Cut down on the money you plan to give for calypso competition and all. Cut down on it and give the elderly back the money. So I am suggesting ways in which the government could get the money, because it seems the government is claiming they don't have money. 6 months when the government came into power. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Actions speak louder than words.
Always.
Teachers get money when the coach say don't pay them. The nurses get 500. The parliamentarians getting $2,000. But 150 for the poor people, they remove that.
Yeah, they take it back.
Speak louder than words, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah. But you can't take back the money from the teachers. You cannot take back the money from the nurses. So I am further advising. Yes, caller. I'm suggesting ways in which they could cut down. Cut down the money on the independence celebration. The elderly people will be much more happy to get the $150 than spending it on independence celebration. I'm not saying don't spend. I'm saying cut down the spending. I'm saying this ban will significantly reduce the ministry, MIT ministry. This ministry is placed there for mischief. We don't need mobilization in our country. The party have to pay for their own mobilization. And you don't need restorative justice. You need some people to help you with implementation. So you don't need all these people. The trip to USA, cut it down. The government must cut down on traveling. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Dick Mitchell, and his other ministers are traveling as if it's their air hostess. Be more sensitive with traveling. Cut down on that too. and you're going to get more money for the elderly. What the government doing with the elderly is sending a strong signal in Grenada that the NDC always disadvantage the elderly anytime they come in power. Every time the NDC comes in power, the first group of people that shed tears is the elderly. You remember what happened in 2008? You remember what happened in 2008? You remember what happened during the homegrown structural adjustment program? Every time the NDC come in power, they immediately go after the elderly. Look at the number of elderly that died in a home. When they had begging people to take vaccine, members of the National Democratic Congress encouraging people, they say you are your rights. If you don't want to take, don't take. I was on radio begging members of the NDC to tell the public that they took vaccine, because I knew they took vaccine because they was traveling. And some of the National Democratic Congress, Ray Roberts, who very early declared that he took vaccine and he was encouraging people to take vaccine. But known political activists of the NDC was printing placard and give jab because jab have rights. About 16 people die in a home in St. Patrick's. And one man, when he see people dying, so he leave and go. Some women go and look for him. They don't get him. Up to now, they don't get him. An elderly man live at home. I understand they closed down the home. I don't know if they reopen it back. So the National Democratic Congress always seems to be very insensitive to the elderly in our country. Why? Why you have a political party in the Caribbean that against the elderly? Grenada have the most home for the aged in the region. Why that is so? It is something in our culture. And when you have a political party that seems to be propagating this level of insensitivity to the elderly, what's going to happen to us? And you hear us saying us because I reached that stage. I reached that plateau. I'm in the departure lounge. And if they start to treat elderly people like that, could you imagine? They end the program without even informing the elderly that the workers who came by you last week not coming back. One girl went back to the gentleman she was seen after because he lost his both foot. He lost his feet. And she said to him, they fire me, but I'm going to come and help you still till they get somebody. Well, maybe she thought they'd send somebody in a few days, but they didn't send nobody. The Prime Minister say he's going to buy 2 planes, are you going to rent 2 planes? Well, since he's not renting plane again, the money that he put aside to rent the plane, help the elderly. I have a suggestion to the Minister of Social Affairs. How to get the money? You don't know. You're brand new to this thing. I ain't talking long, I know. So I'm making suggestion to you how to get the money, because you must give. You must give the people back the money. We will continue and we will strengthen our protest action and our objection. You must give them back your money. You cannot trick the elderly. I know the sister remind me it's not only the elderly. Children are affected and physically challenged. But you see, I doesn't speak about men. Otherwise, I speak about my partner, the bus, while driving bus. His only source of income. He was down for a long while. And government be giving him assistance. He just trying to work. They cut out the program for him. But normally I don't speak about men. So this, why is it a government in a country becomes so insensitive? The government dropped the price of condom. The government give concession to taxpayers. And the government robbing the elderly and raising the price of sugar. Yes, caller, welcome.
What?
And you are the last caller for the day.
Just now, I will be getting, I had to go and sign up to get me elderly money because I reached my age.
You was working with government?
No, I don't work with government, but I have to get it there, but it never work. And they're getting it. There are young people who could work, and they're saying they cannot work. They go and sign up, and they get
They have a doctor's certificate that can work?
And that's they go and get, I know who getting it. I know there are a lot of young people working on getting that, and who should be getting it, don't getting it. I am not lying. I know what I'm telling you.
So right now, well, yes, sometimes you get.
I know.
So
I have to get mine.
So you believe the government is correct to take it out from people?
What I'm saying, I don't quite understand why they remove it. They must have, if they say
the reason they remove it is because they don't have money.
Well, it has to be. If they don't have money, you can't blame them. Because if you rule in a house and you have to make some kind of a sacrifice to do something to move on. So if they see that they don't have the money.
So if you don't have money, you don't blame them.
I don't blame, but I mean, I'm sorry for the elderly people. I mean, I don't like it. But if they don't have money, it don't make sense continue. They have to do something.
Yeah, if you rule in a house,
if you rule in a house
and you don't have money,
you don't know how to control.
What you're gonna cut out some things in the house.
Some things you have to cut out because right about now.
But would you cut out the children milk?
Listen to me.
Would you cut out the diaper for the old elderly?
I wouldn't cut out that. What I'm trying to tell you, if I have cable and I have internet and I have phone and I cannot afford to maintain it,
you cut
I
off
have
that.
to cut off one. I cut off two to move on.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. We come to the end of the program and we're on a good note. It's a good note. The sister is saying, if you are managing a house and you have serious economic problems, there's something you cut out the things that would cause people in the house. You cut out you can't cut out the water. You could take out the telephone first, the internet. Is a challenge to take out the electricity. You might cut out the hairdo. You might ask your husband if he's drinking 3 beers a day. That is $3,650 something for the year. He might have to drink a 8 confusion rum. So that might be cost him cheaper. 1 8 rum, $5 a day. So that might cost him much cheaper. Maybe you don't have to put blind. You maybe have the people. That is what the government is doing. That is why we want to help the government to show them what they should cut out. Do not, please give back the elderly people the money. You lack compassion. And what you have done is unconscionable. Thank you very much. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1.